Nobody really knows why we have an appendix, but it can cause us a lot of problems. If it bursts, the complications can be life-threatening. It needs to be treated immediately with surgery, so it's extremely important to know what to look out for. According to the NHS, about 40,000 people get appendicitis in the UK every year, and 1 in 13 people will get it at some point in their life. It's most common in children and young people aged between 10 and 20. The appendix is a small thin pouch which is connected to the large intestine, where feces are formed. It's between 5 to 10 centimeters long. Appendicitis is when it swells up and it can result in the pouch bursting. It is extremely painful and the complications can be life-threatening, so it's really important to get it treated immediately. According to the NHS, there are lots of signs to look out for in your child. The main symptom is pain around the belly button, which moves to the right-hand side of the body after a few hours. Coughing, pressing on the area and walking will make the pain worse. Your child might also have a high temperature and they might be sick. It can also hurt when they go for a wee and they may be constipated. If your child has tummy pain which gets much worse very quickly, call 999. It is very difficult to diagnose the condition in children and in adults. There are no quick tests to check if a child's stomach cramps are a result of appendicitis. Doctors in A&E will probably carry out a number of blood and urine tests to try and work out what is causing the pain. If doctors still decide if you have appendicitis or not, they might decide to remove the appendix anyway, as it's safer than risking leaving it and it bursting. The treatment for appendicitis is surgery to have the appendix removed. The operation is called an appendectomy or appendicectomy. Humans don't need an appendix, and nobody really knows why we have one, so your child will be absolutely fine without it. Your child will be put to sleep for the operation, which is carried out under general anesthetic. There are 2 techniques doctors can use for the surgery, but the keyhole approach is more commonly used with children. It's the quicker of the 2 and recovery time is shorter, meaning your child will be up and about a lot sooner. According to the NHS website, the operation is done by making 3 or 4 small cuts in the tummy. A tube is then inserted which pumps the abdomen with gas, giving the surgeon more space to work. When that's sorted, another tube containing a light and a camera, known as a laparoscope, is popped in so the doctor can see what he or she is doing. They will then use small surgical tools to remove the appendix, and they will then use stitches to close the cuts. However, in some situations keyhole surgery isn't suitable, so children may have to have open surgery. This can happen if the appendix has already burst or if your child has had surgery on their tummy in the past. A larger cut is made in the lower side of your abdomen and the appendix is removed through there. Appendectomies are one of the most common operations carried out in the UK, and the risk of complications is very low. However, no surgery is ever completely risk-free, so there are a few things which could happen. If your child has keyhole surgery, they should be able to go home within 24 hours. However, if they needed open surgery, this could be up to a week. Your child might be in pain for a few days after the operation and there might be some bruising. They should be able to take painkillers if it gets too bad, but check with your surgeon first. With keyhole surgery, your child might also experience pain in their shoulder for about a week. This is because of the gas which was pumped into the abdomen. Your child might also be constipated for a few days after the surgery. If it becomes a problem, your GP should be able to prescribe something. There are a few things parents should keep an eye out for after their child has their appendix out. If you notice any of the following things, contact your GP as they could be a sign of infection. About 40,000 people have appendicitis in the UK every year. The NHS estimates 1 in every 13 people will get it at some point in their life.